Uh, Hello everyone. I hope you guys can hear my voice. If you do, then just acknowledge in the chat box if you can. All right, thank you. So basically today we'll be like looking into the basics of what GitHub is and what version control is in general. And before we begin, I'd just like to introduce myself. I'm Vaishnavi Divedi. I'm a third year student at RAIT, and I'm currently majoring in computer engineering. And I am also the lead of DSC-RAIT, and I'll be taking today's session. And I'm sorry that you won't be able to see my face because it isn't really necessary for this particular session. And what is necessary is right in front of you. So basically, just keep in mind that just open GitHub. If you have an account, which is, recommended. If you don't, just take a couple of minutes, create an account. It doesn't cost anything, and it's just 1 minute job. If you already have one, just go to github.com, and so that we can sort of follow along with this. Even in the information session, I had highlighted on the fact how important it is to have your laptops with you, your PC devices, where you can sort of follow along with us. So today, basically, the agenda of our meet of this session is that I'll be going through what GitHub is, and we'll be creating a repository, and we'll be adding certain files to it. It won't be anything related to code or any thing as such. We'll just be looking into the very basics of version control and Git. And I'll be sort of elaborating on the fact, how we sort of collaborate as software developers. When you go to big companies and you work in a team, where, especially in these times where you have to work remotely, you can't exactly email your code to certain people and then proceed accordingly. You need to have a system which manages your code, which manages different pieces of code from everybody in a particular team. So it's not always it's not always the case that everyone is there's just one person working on a team. So there are a lot of people working together, and they can't wait for another person to finish in order to start with their work. So in order to facilitate this kind of collaboration where people can work simultaneously without hindering the process of the whole repository, of the whole code, of the final output. This is basically why we use version control. And basically, the version control means that it controls the version of your particular code. So you can sort of revert back to a certain version if you sort of messed up, or if someone messed up, or if there are some conflicts, some merge conflicts that are there. So we'll be looking through a lot of things over here. Also, just a disclaimer, like, there's a chance that we'll encounter many errors in the way. So basically, the reason being is because without errors, nothing is. Even if you have like years of practice with GitHub, there is a possibility at some point you might face some sort of an error. So we'll be sort of looking through these things, and I'll give you guys a minute to sort of log into github.com and open your Windows terminal, whichever terminal or whichever operating system you're on, and open the terminal for this particular operating system. And I hope that you have Git installed in your on your device. Assuming the fact that we've all participated in the first weekly challenge, which sort of gave us some sort of an introduction to GitHub. So I'll be just taking it a bit further than that. It was just scratching the surface. I mean, it was just the tip of the iceberg. We have a lot of things to cover. And this session will be, I mean, I'll keep it as brisk, as quick as possible. We won't be covering everything in detail, but we'll be covering enough for you to be able to be confident in contributing to open source and contributing through GitHub in teams. So, yeah, I'll just give you guys a minute. Take your time, log into GitHub, and follow the instructions. All right. I hope you guys have, like followed the guidelines and the instructions that I just gave. Now, I mean, I hope you guys are on GitHub as well. So let's just take a quick tour of what GitHub, the platform, is and what are its different features. And like, then we'll sort of go on to create a repository and how we, I'll be using an analogy to sort of, like draw some certain lines to make it clear to you and make it more relevant to you. So basically, I mean, as you can see on the screen, this is my uh, yeah, it does like show all the recent activity, all activity, all these things. This is basically something like maybe Instagram, where you, I mean, previously it used to show the activities of your followers and stuff. So I mean, basically all these people, like as you can see, I mean, for example, this dude, he's a friend from Italy, and he starred a repository for full of data science interviews. So I mean, definitely it could be useful for me as well. I am definitely interested in the field of data science, and I mean, definitely this is a platform where you can connect with other developers as well. Now, I mean, this is the recent activity section where all my issues and pull requests are shown. If I've ever commented on certain issues and pull requests, which I'll be diving into in just a moment. But like for now, these are just and like these are all the code repositories that I've made. So like yeah, there are quite a few because I mean I've forked, which means that I have copied a repository, like a main repository. I've made a copy for myself. So I we'll be diving deep into these things as well. But for now, I mean, we can sort of explore the features. First of all, I'll sort of give you a glimpse into what my profile looks like when I go to GitHub. So this is, I mean, you can ignore all this. This is like the basic thingy, like where you add your bio and stuff. This is not relevant to us. But the part that is relevant is down here. So basically, these are my pinned repositories. So these are the repositories that I'm quite proud of, and like I would like people to sort of peep into these repositories and see through my code what it says and like what it does. So I mean, and like if someone wants to use these repositories also, they can do so because these are open source, and like it is free to use. There's no restrictions on the usage. There's no like some sort of patent or anything. This is like a free software, free code stuff. So yeah, basically, so over here, like I just have 245 contributions in the last year, which is kind of all right. I mean, I've spent a lot of time on data science and like on Kaggle. like not exactly on Kaggle, but like doing most of the Jupyter notebook exercises. So I wasn't quite active on GitHub in this past year, but I mean, this is pretty decent, I suppose. And I mean, these are the kind of things that may sort of motivate you, or maybe sort of give you a perception on how much coding you've done in the past, or like how many contributions you've done to different repositories that are there. Now, I mean, I am pretty sure that you guys might be wondering, like I'm using all this jargon, like repositories, pull requests, issues, and stuff like that. So, like we'll be going one by one on all of these things. So basically, before we sort of create a repository, I'd like to show you a certain repository. So like we'll be jumping onto DSC-RAIT's like organization, and let's see, I think maybe this, yeah. All right. So, this is basically the weekly challenges repository where everyone in DSC RIT will be we give weekly challenges to people, and they can sort of like add their code, add their submissions to this particular repository. So that is the purpose of this repository. Now, in a repository, you have like a code section, you have issues, you have pull requests, and I mean, these are actions are something that would be covered in tomorrow's session by Kunal. And I mean, I hope you guys join that as well. But for now, we'll focus on these three. And so basically, if you see, here we have folders and we have files. So this folder here, we in this folder we sort of collect all the submissions by different people. Like Anurag Jendo is basically just an example. Medha is a facilitator at DSC-RAIT, and she also submitted her own stuff, like her weekly challenge. And there's me. Now, like, I mean, there is something called a readme .md. So this is basically a markdown file, and it's pretty easy to sort of get a grasp on what this is. This basically sort of explains you that this repository or this particular file or whatever it is, like this particular folder has, like, I mean, what kind of information does it contain, and how would you go about sort of installing it on your computer or using it in general. So I mean, in this repository, like there are certain instructions that we've given to submit the Python wallpaper automation challenge submissions, like whatever solutions that these people have made. So now if we go to certain submissions, we can see like there are files like wallpaper changer.py, and so these are the files that contain the code, and like these are basically things that we'll be working on. And now this is basically what the code part is. Now if you can see the readme of this repository, we have mentioned how you can start contributing to this. So let's, I mean, I think I have already cloned this repository, so I'm not quite sure if I'll be able to show you. But let's, I mean, I think we can sort of find another one, or maybe just some random repository where which I have not seen. Maybe this one. Uh, this is just some random repository that I've like seen, and it has 45 contributors. The languages used are Ruby, HTML, and SCSS. And this README has a very clear description of what this repository contains. So now, if for example I want to use this repository, I can't go and directly contribute to it, because I mean, the owner of this repository might have certain like issues with me directly, like hampering and tampering with his or her code. So basically what I do is I make a copy for myself. So what I do is I make a fork. Basically now, I mean, you might, if you go to any random repository, like you can also try this out, like just go to a random repository, any repository for that matter, and if you want you can go to DSC-RAIT and clone the DSC-RAIT.tech repository, and not clone, like fork the repository. So now if I sort of do it, now it is showing me that it's forking the this particular repository, and it should take a few seconds, and now I have my own copy of that repository. So basically it has everything except for probably the contributors, because I mean this is my own copy for it. Now if I want to make any changes to this thing, I can do so. And we'll be sort of going into the stuff about, you know, how we can like add code to such repositories, and like the way we can use like how we can sort of flag issues, like if there's a particular issue in this particular repository, something wrong with the code, if something's not working maybe. So we'll be able to sort of identify that as well, and we'll be able to fix it using the different features of GitHub. So for now, what we'll do is, instead of this, what we'll do is we'll start making a new repository. Now, let's just okay. So basically, if you want to create a so there are two ways of creating a repository. One, you can do it from your terminal, and one you can do directly from GitHub. So first, we'll explore the first method for now. So if you just have to go and click on this new button. So if you are on GitHub.com right now, like sort of click on that. Also, like I'm just saying that, you know, if you want maybe a certificate or any token of recognition from our side for this, for attending this particular session, we'll be giving out a post session form, and you will have to sort of submit the link of the repository that you will be making during the session. So, I mean, only those people would be eligible for some sort of a recognition. I mean, even though it doesn't matter for certain people, but maybe it will help you, and it will give you some sort of a motivation to, you know, get up and like not just watch the video passively, because we don't want it to be just like any other video. We wanted to I mean we wanted to be like interactive, not interactive in the sense, you know, like we wanted to be sort of like where you can sort of experiment with these things on your own. So for now, let's continue. Like let's create a repository. Now I am the owner, so Device is my username. Now if I want to create a repository, now we are creating a repository for, you know, maybe for example, if you're planning on attending the web development workshop or the Flutter workshop, not workshop, the session for getting started week. If you want to attend the Flutter session, if you want to sort of make a repository for that beforehand, you can do it. Or I'll just write GitHub session. You can name it whatever you want. It just has to be like not a pre-used name. So for example, if I try to make like I already have a repository named device.github.io. Now, if I try to make it, it says that, you know, this already exists on this account. So that's why I can't use the same name. I have to use a different name, which is GitHub session. All right. Now I can add a description. This is right. Now, now you can either choose it to be public or private. I mean, we recommend that you choose public, because that way everyone will be able to see what your repository, like what the code of your repository does, and like we'll be able to access that particular repository and create a fork or whatever it is, create a copy for our own. Now, initialize this repository with add a README file. This is where you can write a long description for your projects. So as I said before, this readme.md file, which is the markdown file, it basically gives a brief description of what your project does. And because I mean, if you just have the code, some people might not be able to understand what it is. So definitely we want a readme. Now, if I want to add a git ignore, now what is git ignore? Now there are certain files like that. I mean, you might be wondering that putting all my stuff on GitHub where everyone can see everything that I am doing. I mean, sometimes you sort of have to put API keys or something which is sort of confidential. You can add it to this git ignore file. I mean, we can choose to add a Gitignore file. It is obviously recommended. There are a lot of templates for it as well. So, I mean, whichever programming language or whichever thing that you're working with, you can sort of use that particular one's Gitignore template. Now, for now, we won't choose any template because I mean, we're not working with anything in particular. Now, choosing a license. Now, a license is basically what makes your repository an open source repository. Now, if we uh, choose a license, then we have the option to choose like MIT license, Apache license, JNU General Public License. So these are the ones where if you want your code to be used for commercial purposes or certain stuff, maybe at companies or maybe by other people, so you can sort of I mean help others by adding this particular license where you allow them to use your whatever your code is. Now I mean, let's just read what this says. This will set master as the default branch. Change the default name in your settings. Now, what I mean, we'll dive into what a branch is in just a moment. But for now, let's just create a repository. Um, it would take a second. Yeah. So there is our repository. This is the README expert intervention, whatever it is. Wait. Okay, I guess. Basically, this is what the repository name is, and yeah, and this is the description. Now we have the license over here and readme.md file as well. Now, if you see over here, um, this is a initial commit. Now, what a commit is basically something like a change to your repository. Now, if I want to, for example, change the README file, I'll be able to do so. When I do so, I'll be able to change the commit. So if I can do it from here because this is my repository, I can do at least change the README file from here itself. Although it's not quite a good practice, but I mean, if you're in a hurry and you for example want to change something, maybe add and version control, then I can do that. I can preview my changes, how it sort of looks. It shows me that this yellow thing means that this line has been modified and this thing has been added. Now committing changes. Now if this is a change for a documentation, so I mean there is a certain convention for naming your commits as well. We'll send you a document of sorts where you can see what these things are, but docs updating description. I mean, if you want, you can, if it's not exactly like clear with just what the description is, you can add additional description to this particular commit. I mean, if it's a block of code, you can sort of try. I mean, usually it's there's no option like this for code commits on the like the command prompt, but we can add certain extended description if you want, and we can commit the changes directly if it's our own repository. So if now I can see there are two commits in this repository, and there is this thing as well, like whatever I wrote, docs updating the description. Now, this is basically how you create a repository on this. Now, what if I want to add some sort of file or some sort of folder or code on this? Now, I mean, obviously, we won't be able to do it from here itself, although there is a new feature called code spaces, which is still in beta, not available to everyone at this point. But I mean, I signed up for the beta, so that's why I was able to access it. But if you want to know more about code spaces, I'll be writing a blog about it as well pretty soon. But for now, we don't have any such provision where we can directly edit the code files, at least. I mean, readme files we can edit directly from here, but code files, if I have a file like maybe something like index.html, I won't be able to edit it from here itself, because I mean, that is not exactly a good practice, and that's in most cases it's not even possible. So what you do instead is that you clone this repository on your particular computer, like whatever, on your local device. So I mean, you just now you made a copy for, like, now you have a remote repository. So this is called a remote repository, which stays on the internet. And now what you have to do is create a local repository. Now that local repository would be a copy of this just on your local device. Now, so you can make any number of changes to that. You can add files, delete files, and then you can just commit those changes and push it to this particular repository, and we'll see how you do that. I mean, I'm pretty sure it might be sounding a bit confusing, but just follow along. Don't just, look at things and, just try to understand things just by watching the video. Try to implement these things on your own. If you have any doubts, if you are facing any certain problems, you can join the Discord server, and you can, like, maybe post a screenshot over there, because I mean, if you do it on the live chat, I'm not quite sure if I'll be able to understand the context of what your error is. But I mean, most cases in Git, it's easy to sort of identify the problems, but still, it is recommended that you go to the Discord server if in case you are facing any problems while following along. So now, for now, we'll clone the repository. So cloning means, I mean, clone means that, just copying the repository on your local device. Now, how do we do it? We copy the code, like clone with HTTPS. So we copy the code of this repository. There are different ways of doing this, but this is the most common way, and we'll be using this only. So now let me just go to my terminal, which is a git bash terminal. If you have it, you can also open it. Otherwise, you can just open your your Windows terminal. So I'll just switch to that. Here we go. Right. All right. I hope you guys can see. Now, git clone. Git clone basically is a command with which you can like clone that particular repository. So now if you use git clone and paste that, so we'll just, I mean, control V doesn't exactly work here, but just paste this link which I copied from over here, like from the sorry, you can't see the other thing, but like I copied it from the other place, the remote repository. Now, when I click enter, there I'm okay, right. So they've so now using this command, I was able to clone the repository. So now if I do cd means change directory. If I do cd, changing directory to expert invention, uh, now we have switched to the expert invention folder, like the project of our git repository, and we are on the master branch. So there are different branches on which you can sort of work on GitHub. So we'll be covering those branches also, we'll so basically the I'll just tell you what the actual use of branches is. So basically, if two people are working on different things, for example, if there is a website and there is someone who is working on the header, like the header part of it, and like there's someone who's working on the footer. So if I am working on the header and my friend is working on the footer part, we just have to make sure like it's on the same page, even if it's not, but if it's on the same page, what we can do is just like make different branches, and we can have like a branch called footer and a branch called header, and then we can work on them individually. So what it does is that it makes an exact copy. So um, version control obviously is the expert of making the copy of that particular repository. So it makes many copies of that single code base, so that we don't have to tamper with the real code and it stays intact. It doesn't get buggy, or it doesn't just random people can't add stuff to it without the permission of the owner, without following certain guidelines, certain procedures. So, and we'll be going through those as well, but for now we'll do this. Now we are on the expert invention. So yeah, basically the branch thing. If we are working on two different branches, what we can do is then after we're done, we can sort of merge that branch onto the main repository, and it will have both our codes, and we can work on it simultaneously as well. So we won't be like working on the same code base. We'll just work on the copy of that particular code base on a different branch. So this that is basically like, if you don't understand it, you will be able to once you sort of start working with it. But this is exactly like what the ideology behind version control is, that you will be able to work simultaneously. Now there is wait now wait okay, I won't be able to show you maybe the Visual Studio Code or anything of that sort. But if for example now if for example I want to add I'm not sure. So if I want to add a folder, for example, with my code, whatever it is, so I'll use the command mkdir, which is make a directory, and inside this particular folder. So now if I mkdir, for example, um, session1. So if I do cd session1, I'll be able to. So now you can see the additional session1 folder. We are at the session1 folder itself. Now I like if I want to revert back. Oh god, it just wait. Expert invention. All right. So I mean, now we just added another folder in itself. Now, for example, if we want to add another file maybe inside the folder, let's just go inside the sessions1 folder. And for example, I want to add a file called uh, wait, hello world dot maybe pi. Okay, and I click that. So I've made a file called hello world using the touch command. Now, touch is basically used for creating a file from the terminal itself. Now, I mean, these are the things that you can sort of try out on your computer as well. Try to make the file from the terminal itself. I mean, this is basically like jugaad wala work, because I'm not able to, I won't be able to show you the Visual Studio Code ka window. But I mean, it totally got off my mind that I have to show you that as well, so that I can show you, like how to add code on the repository. So, like for now, we'll just make do with what we have. Now, the touch command basically made a new file. Now, if I go to wait again. Now, also by the way, just a thumbs up. Like what you can do is like press the up arrow, and you can go to your commands, whatever commands you are. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of you already know this, but still, I mean, I'm considering the audience to be like a bit premature on this. But yeah, so yes, all right. So we'll go to the export invention folder, repository, sorry. And so basically now if I want to see that what all files have I added to this, what all things that I've modified, so I do git status. Okay, when I say git status, it has shown me that there are untracked files. There's a session1 folder, and there's a forward slash indicating that okay, there might be certain files inside it as well. So I mean, this is the folder that basically you have modified, and you can add it on the like on your particular remote on your local branch. So add it as in adding it means that you are staging it, sort of, like, okay, this is the file that I have modified, and I want to push it, like I want it on the remote branch, on the remote repository. So if I come here, I don't have the folder over here. I just have it on the local on my local device. So if I want to add that particular folder onto my remote repository, I have to follow certain stuff. So basically, I mean, you just have to do this: git add and dot means that select everything. Now if I wanted to add only a certain file onto that particular repository, we would have been able to do that as well, by specifying the name of that particular uh, thing. So basically, if I wanted to add, I mean, there's just session1 folder, so I can just write session1 also, and it just added. So basically, I mean, I want this particular folder to be in contention of, I want this to put it, I want to put this on the I want to make it official, and I want to put this on the remote repository. So this is how I do it. And now if I see, if I do again, if I do git status, uh, yeah, now it has like a new file, it is tracking changes to be committed. And now so basically this is the repository that I mean this is the file that I want to push onto my local repository, onto my remote repository. Now what I do is get get git. Now if I want to like commit this file, now if I want to like make it actually official, like I want it to be like, okay, I really want to add this. Now I have to make the change. So in order to make the change onto the repository, you have to use git commit, and then you use a flag called hyphen m, and you use the semicolon and write whatever your message. So like the way we did it on the readme wala commit, it is somewhat similar, but I mean, we do get an option to add a message to it, but I mean, it's not quite the interface that we're hoping for. So now if I'm making a report, like if I'm making another feature, for example, so I can use this particular convention. Feed means feature. So basically, there's a feature which I'm adding, and it's called session1. Added session1. So these are, I mean, the reason why I'm not doing it, in the very newbie commit style. The reason being, I want you guys to learn and like to get curious about these things. And I'm not going to dive deep into this, but you can search about these things, like how you can draft a name of the commit, so that if there are different people in your team, they should be able to understand what code that you have committed, what code you have changed. So I mean, if I've added session1, I mean, if another person reads this particular commit, they would know, okay, there's a feature, and it's she added the session1 folder. So if I'm aware of what the session 1 folder is about, obviously I'll be able to make sense of it. Now if I click enter, uh, now if we read this, one file changed, zero insertions, zero deletions. The reason, the reason why this is there is because we added one file, so that's why it got changed. There are zero insertions because we have not added any code to it, or we've not even deleted any code from the repository. So this is basically how you commit. Now if I go back to the remote one, if I refresh, maybe there's still nothing over here. I mean, I just committed. I mean, it should have been here, but there's one more thing that you need to follow before you can see it over here. It is called git push. So git push origin master. Now, if you can maybe read over here, your branch is up to date with origin/master. So origin, let me show you one thing. Git remote, and we'll use a flag called V, which often stands for version. So if I see, there is an origin karke alias for this particular Git repository, which we sort of cloned from, I mean, where we sort of cloned our code from. So origin is basically the name of this repository. Instead of, typing the whole thing again and again, we have sort of an alias over here, and we can use that alias. So what we need to specify over here is, like, if we, for example, we just use git pull origin. Now it not pull, sorry, git push, sorry, git push origin. Now if we do that, right, so it just pushed the like the whole code onto the origin, like onto this particular repository. Now if we go over here and if we refresh, it should be here. Yes, we have it. So there's a session 1 thing. Now, I mean, you might be asking me, what, this could have been done with drag and drop, and actually it could have been done. You can just upload a file or create a new file. I know it's pretty useless. I mean, it might look pretty useless now, but it isn't. When it comes to the coding part, it is very, very useful. And I mean, nothing is exactly like useless over here. If, for example, I wanted to make another feature altogether. Now, if I want to make another feature, so obviously we want to make a new branch for it. Now, if I do git check out, so these commands that I am doing over here, you can maybe write them down, or you can just check them out. Like, you can Google a list of commands, and like these will show up. And the reason why I am so well versed with all these commands is because I've been using them on a daily basis in my job and in my projects, whatever it is. We use GitHub everywhere. We use Git version control everywhere. So git checkout is basically to make a new to switch to another branch. So if I use git checkout and a flag called b, it will make a new branch for me. If I call it, for example, GitHub, okay. Now we switch to a branch called GitHub. So now if you can see over here, there's a change. Now it's not master anymore, it's GitHub. Now if I, for example, want to maybe make a file, I'll just add a new file called index.html. I know Py and HTML in the same thing because we're making a web development thing, I suppose. Now if I see git status, it shows me that this file, you modified this file, but we have no idea about what it is. So just add it. I mean, do you want to commit it or do you not want to commit it? It's basically asking us that. So nothing added to commit, but untracked files present. So this file is basically untracked until we use the git add command. Now before we use the git add command, I'll just add another file. I'll make another file, get touch footer, if I'm making a footer for something, maybe if I now check git status, we have footer.html and index.html. Now I thought that we don't exactly need the footer right now, but we do need the index.html right about now. So instead of or yeah, so basically if I want to do that, I just do git add index.html. Now if I see git status, it shows me now index.html is tracked and you can commit it at any time you want, but this particular file, it's on your local devices, we're not tracking it, and you can do whatever you want with it, but like don't do anything stupid. But like we're not adding it onto the onto the remote repository. So this is what we do usually. But I mean, now I want to make another maybe file, header. Okay, header.html. I know, pretty tedious. Sorry. Okay, status. Right. So, wait. Now if I see there are two untracked files, I want I just don't want like I want both of these files to be tracked now. So what I do, instead of typing the name of the file only, I do git add dot, it adds all the files that are there, which are untracked. So now if I see git status, I see all the three files are there. Now I want to commit these files. So what I do is um, git commit m, and then we do like new maybe features, landing page. All right, I hope this works. Yes. So now, I mean, we all know that we need to do git push. So we do git push origin. Now, what it does is that the current branch has no upstream branch. To push the current branch, we need to set the remote as upstream. So, I mean, upstream is a different concept altogether. We'll see it when we are forking and contributing to repositories. But what we'll do is git push origin. Now, what is the name of our branch? Um, okay, what was the name? GitHub, right? So we do push GitHub, git push origin GitHub. All right, there we go. So now if I go back over here and I refresh, I can see that there is a GitHub branch. GitHub had recent pushes less than a minute ago. So I mean, I can compare and pull requests, but this isn't exactly like, this is my repository only, so I don't need to do I don't need to exactly do a pull request. But I mean, I can if I want to push it onto master. So I'll show you how we can do it in a minute. But for now, we'll just look through this. So now I've switched to GitHub branch, and as you can see, there is folder.html, header.html, and index.html. Now if I go to master, there are no such files. So basically, I mean, we can sort of have two different branches doing separate things, and I mean working on separate features simultaneously, so that there is no tampering with the code that is going to be used by people, and the code that is basically your product or your project, whatever it is. So basically this is how you do branch thingy and like all of these things. But now we'll look into into something different. Now I mean, yes, definitely we can sort of push this particular thing onto master, but for now I'll just I mean, I don't want to elucidate it on this. We can try out, maybe we can just go to, instead of DSC, alright, now let me show you like some real code. Okay, so basically this is the DSC-RAIT.tech website ka site. For now there are only two contributors, Neil Agarwal and Anurag, and both of them are a part of the core team. And as you can see, there are like a lot of files over here, and there's a good description of what DSC-RAIT.tech is, what this project is about. We have two branches, there's main, and then there is a with DSC-RAIT template. So I mean, there's no master as such. There's a main branch. We can change the name of the default branch if we want. So basically this is how we like we've had our stuff. So now what I want is, I want to contribute to this particular repository. Now I mean, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people would a lot of people would be, sort of confused about, okay, what is like, what is all this? So I mean, what I'll do is, now I mean, even though this is a repository that I have made, but what I'll do is that I'll make a separate fork. I'll make a copy for it, because I don't want to tamper with the code that he has written over here. So let's see. Now, I mean, I already have a fork for device C, so I'll just make a fork from a different organization, and it's called Erior. And I'm making a different, like, I'm making a fork from a different account, not exactly a different account, but a different organization, which I mean, I hope you understand. So this is my own copy. This is called Erior slash DSC-RAIT.tech instead of DSC-RAIT slash DSC-RAIT.tech. So I mean, this is a different repository. This is my own copy. I can do whatever I want with this, but I'll steer clear of any weird stuff. Um, wait. Okay. Okay. Wait. So what we'll do is, now what I'll do is that I'll follow the same procedure. We'll just fast forward it a bit. I mean, I am pretty slow, but let's see. Okay, now we are here. Git. Okay, wait. There's a possibility that there already exists. So I'll just go to desktop instead, so that there's no conflicts or whatever it is. Git clone and paste. Now this is like Erior slash DSC-RAIT.tech. I cloned into it. There's cloning happening. We're done. Now we do a quick CD and we go inside DSC-RAIT.tech repository. Now we are here. What we'll do now is something that might go above your head, but try to understand what we're doing. So basically, if I showed you before how to check the remote versions of this repository. So there is an origin, there's a thing called origin. But now, what if I want to contribute to this? I mean, even though I have my own copy of it, but I mean, there is some sort of things that I want to change in the original copy as well. So even for that, I'll have to make a fork. And what I do is that I add an upstream. So git remote add upstream. So there's a thing called origin. The alias origin is used for my remote, like it's called Erior slash DSC-RAIT.tech, but the upstream one will have wait, just a sec. All right, so paste. All right, so okay, wait, no, not Erior. I have to, if I want to add upstream, wait. I'll show you how to do that. I'll go to the main repository. Okay, this is DSC-RAIT.tech. I'll copy that code and then I'll go to the terminal. I'll paste the link over here, git remote add upstream. Okay, so upstream is basically we are what we're doing is like we're going to use upstream as an alias for this big link to that particular repository. So if we want to add anything else to that main repository, we'll have upstream. And yes, so I mean, usually this is useful when you want to sort of pull the code from upstream. So like if there are any changes over here now, while I was making a copy of the thing, if for example something changes in the README or something like something changes in the README and something happens on the site, so I'll have to update my fork as well. So like update my part of the repository as well. It won't get updated automatically. I'll have to follow certain procedures. So upstream would what upstream would do is like it will help me keep my repository updated. Now this is something that people are very confused about usually, like how to update their fork, how to update their copy of the repository. So basically this is how like we'll be like working with so the upstream alias is used for the actual repository. Now for now what we'll do is like we'll just add some sort of stuff like let's just add okay we should add something that would not disrupt the website, but let's see. uh, let's add a maybe a readme file, or not a readme, wait, test dot html, I guess. And we have created a test.html file. Now I hope you know the flow by now. What you do is git status. You actually don't need to do git status. Is just for you to sort of get an understanding what if there are too many files. You if it so basically in Visual Studio Code it's pretty visual on it, like you can see what all changes are being made. But like if you're just operating from the terminal, it's better to sort of keep track of what files are untracked, what files are sort of staged to commit, staged to sort of push onto the remote repository. So what we'll do is like we know the flow. We'll do git add dot. We have added all the files. Now we're sort of said if we go on git status, we can see the red thing has turned into green. And now git status we've done, and we'll do a quick git commit m let's say docs, no wait, it's just a test commit, so I mean it's not exactly something that we want to be there, but sure. Okay. I guess we have committed. Now what we'll do is git push origin master. Wait, sorry. All right. Okay, so git push origin. It basically now if I see over here, I'll be able to see my commit on the top, the latest commit on the top, and it will be somewhere here test.html. Now, if I go to the DSC-RAIT.tech site, uh, right. So now if for example like what I did is, I mean something wrong which I shouldn't have done. The reason is that I should have made another branch. If I want to contribute directly to another repository, I have to make a different branch so that I can easily merge it with the main branch over there. So that is a mistake. We'll wait, where is the Okay, wait, I didn't switch. Sorry. I hope you guys see this now. I mean, this is the test thing, and this is the file which got committed. And yep, cool. All right. Now, okay, wait. I'll just do it. So basically this is a mistake and we should be wary of it. Whenever you want to add something new to a remote repository, any repository which you've made a copy of, which you've made a fork of, you need to make another branch for it. So git checkout p for a new branch. So git checkout, let's say hello, whatever. So now we are on hello and we'll just quickly make a yellow.html. I know, weird, but yes, we have it now. We'll do a quick git add, a git commit. Also, there is an option to git add and git commit together. But the reason why I'm not showing it because it gets overly complicated and I sort of prefer it this way too. So wait, oh shit. Yeah, so git commit again, maybe added. Oh, wait. All right. So yeah, we have it here. Now, if I git push origin, oh wait, sorry, git push origin hello. So I mean this particular thing we encountered it before as well. So we have to specify the name of the branch when we're creating a new branch. Usually you always need to specify the name of the branch, but this is git bash, so there are a few things that are different. But git push origin hello might do it. Right. So now we have this thing, and all right. Now if we go here, sort of refresh. Now we have this option of comparing and pull request. Now this is how you sort of make a pull request to the main repository, which is DSC-RAIT slash DSC-RAIT.tech. So what I do is I'll click on this. Now able to merge. Okay, so there are no conflicts between these branches because I just like create, like I just forked it. So I mean Neil didn't add any additional code onto the repository as of now. So I mean now we are able to merge, and I'll just write a title. Usually try to make your title a bit descriptive, and there are certain conventions to follow as well for pull request titles when you come contributing to open source repositories, one of which we'll go to in just a moment. Wait. All right. Oh God. I'm so sorry. Arey, wait. I know we are sort of past time as well, so I'm going to. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's certain amount of lag, so yeah. Anyway, so this is what I was talking about. I'm so sorry. Like, it's sometimes it just slips the mind, to switch the thing. So, I mean, this is the thing that I was talking about, compare and pull request. So, just click on this, and now I mean we here you can see able to merge. So what it does is that there's a base repository where I want to push my commit onto the base branch, and the head repository from where the commit has to go to the base repository. So like I've made the changes on Arial and I wanted to send it to the DSC-RAIT wala repository. So there are certain conventions about the pull request title as well, but we're not going to follow them, and we'll just add pull request, maybe pull request title, and we'll leave a comment like hello. not hello, but added hello maybe. Okay. I hope this is sort of making sense to you guys as well. Now we can also see that what kind of commits there are. There's a test commit, there's a added yellow.html commit, and there are two files changed, and there's just one contributor that's error for this particular thing. But yeah, now if I create a pull request, I can see so like now on DSC-RAIT on the main repository I can see the pull request. So pull requests are basically a way to sort of push your code onto a certain repository, onto a certain huge repository, add your bits and pieces of your code. So when you open this, you'll be able to see whatever you've made changes. So now like there will be a lot of reviews, there will be a lot of stuff that I mean, so the reason why there's a squash and merge thing um available to me is because it's my repository. So I am able to, I since I am the owner of the repository of the you of the bigger repository, so like of DSC-RAIT, I am the owner of that repository as well. That's why I'm able to merge it. But you won't have this option. Usually this option would be available to the owner of the repository that you want to contribute to. So I mean, for now I'll just, I mean, I know myself, so I'll maybe I'll merge, but I mean, I think Neil is going to kill me, but whatever. Yeah, confirm squash and merge. So now pull request is merged and it is closed. So if you go here, you can see there's no pull request anymore, and we are done. And you can see your code. So like pull request title, whatever the pull request is, it has been merged to this, and this gello.html that we just made and test.html. So these were added 16 seconds ago, and I mean, this is pretty convenient, I suppose. But I mean, this is basically how the workflow goes. There are a lot of other things as well that you might want to know. Also, I mean, I wanted to keep this session as quick as possible, but it has been extended, unfortunately. And I mean, thank you all of you for coming and watching the live stream. I hope this was some sort of this gave you some sort of a sense or onto like what GitHub is and like what its function is. Now, if you have any problems, any queries that you have, you can come onto the Discord server, and I'll be available over there on the general voice channel, I suppose, and I'll be able to solve any of the doubts that you guys have. And like, I'm really sorry for like extending the session, but I think it was sort of worth it, and I'm pretty sure that you guys also sort of tried all of these things that I was doing over here. If you have any issues, come to Discord and we'll discuss about it. And if you are good to go, then I hope you sort of learned something out of this session. If there's anything additionally you want to learn, to in tomorrow's session we'll go through what GitHub Actions is. And I mean, this session was pretty pretty beginner oriented. The reason being that I mean, a lot of people were unaware of what GitHub is, and in our college in RAIT. So that's the main reason why we conducted this session. And if anyone has any doubt, they can come to the Discord server and we can discuss it. So for now, it will be great if you guys can give a thumbs up to this video if you sort of gain some sort of insight from it. And if not, it's fine. I mean, you can come on to Discord and we'll sort of discuss about it. Uh, Also, do subscribe. I know it's, I mean, some sort of a YouTuber dialogue, but yeah, I mean, do subscribe to this channel, and we really want to reach out to a lot of people who are interested in becoming developers, pro developers, and this is basically the first step to all of that. So basically, we would be using this particular workflow to sort of we'll be using this particular workflow for all the weekly challenges that we'll be doing, all the assignments or projects that we'll be doing under DSC-RAIT. So it's like if you were not able to understand any of these things, you can go onto the Git documentation as well, and you can try to understand stuff on your own. If you want a list of commands from my side, I'll be more than happy to help you. You can reach out to me on the Discord server, or I mean, if you have some sort of a contact, you can do that as well. Thank you all for joining. I'll end the stream over here, and I hope to see you guys on the Discord server. Um, Thank you, and bye bye. I hope you have a good evening.